Alrighty. What's going on, Optimus? Welcome back to the channel. Today is Friday, December 16th, 2022, and it is quad witching day. Today there are a lot of contracts expiring of people who were holding contracts and options or futures will need to roll them over. So, we are going to go ahead and jump in and take a look at the market. I haven't taken a look at anything yet today, but we'll see how it's all going down. See how quad witching is affecting the market today. So here we go. Diving in. As say in the halos. All right, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Market dropping significantly today, all the way down to 38.60s. That's pretty crazy because if you think about the beginning of the week, we were nearing 4,200. So that means that ES has lost almost $300 this whole week. That is a lot of capital. That's almost 10% on the overall view of it all. So let's go ahead and take a look at the last 5 days. You see up here, let's go to 5 days ago. So I believe this is Monday here, where we popped up to 41.80, and we've basically been selling off since that pop up. This was the beginning of the new week, where we had this really strong bullish run right at the beginning of the week, followed by immediate and significant declines. I'm gonna remove some of these old drawings because I actually don't think that we're gonna be hitting these highs anytime soon. So let's remove the old drawings from anything older than 2 days ago. And there we go. That cleans up a lot of the chart. We can do our tech analysis from here on out. So dropping down to 31.60s, and we may get some subsequent pop-ups here. Let me see when this was. This was actually yesterday at around 11:15. We were riding along this 3,900 zone. Today we're dropping below that. We did come up and hit the 200 moving average today. The 200 simple, which is right at 39.09, and that was right at the open. And we've rejected heavily off the 200 moving average since the open. So we're coming up on 7:30, or we're past 7:30. So we'll see if we start to get some trend reversals in this area. You can see that there's been significant sell-off today. If we check down here at the Bulls Bears, you can see that there's almost every candle is dramatically more sells than buys. Definitely bearish on the day, and really been kind of bearish on the week. We did take a few shorts. You guys know my strategy is mainly long, but we can do short every now and then. Usually we're looking for moves like this where we're on the 5-minute chart now, but where we're seeing like this blue to red move, and then we go short like right off that, because it usually indicates that there's going to be pretty heavy move to the downside, which it is. There's a heavy move right down. We're in fact, as I'm saying that, we're actually making brand new lows. Would you look at that? All the way down 38.64. We've only put in, here we are on a 3-minute chart, since, let's see, we haven't put a green candle in since 6:48. We've only put in one green candle. So from 6:48 to 7:15, nothing but red candles. And from 7:15 till now, nothing but red candles on the 3-minute chart. Check out the one, a little bit tighter time frame. You can see it's kind of the same story. It's almost completely red with a green candle every now and then, following a stair step pattern. But you can see right here, there's step 1, and then down, and then step 2, and then down. It's basically the same thing. If we flip it over and we're going long, it would be the same thing as a momentum move to the upside, where we have that 1-minute pullback followed by a 1-minute candle to make a new high. It's literally the exact same strategy, but flipped on its head. So let's see, taking a look now. You can see that the TTM on the 1 minute began to reverse right here and gave a mild little momentum move off of 38.75 up to 82 before pulling back yet again. Never got that breakout, so did have that continued pullback while still stacking on TTM and a false break right there, right around it was right at 77.28, but it was right around $3,800. Gave that false breakout and switched back to more red on the TTM. So what this tells me today is I'm going to be very cautious going long on the day. Likely I'm going to be looking to scalp yet again, which I don't love. I prefer momentum moves. I'm more of a momentum trader, but sometimes you just you have to trade the market that you're in. Going long right here, based off of this buying pressure that was coming in off that bounce off the low there. You can see it going from 6.4 to 6.3 to 5.4 on the TTM yellow on the 1 minute side. So just looking for a $1 move up. We're currently in 4 contracts of the sim, in at 72.75, but possible crossover in the 12.26 EMA. This could just be a false break, like almost everything has been today. Well, pretty much everything has been a false breakout today. There's that possible cross. Getting a Mario candle on it, and we do have more buyers than sellers, which is good. We're continuing to stack on TTM yellow, 6.3 to 5.6 to 4.8. There's a good probability this is going to pop to the upside. Jumping over to our evaluation, and currently I'm in the 100K eval. We're up to 90.12 in that account. We do have a fresh 50K evaluation as well. We may set up a group trader soon for this and see if we can just trade 2 accounts at once and have them mirror each other. Wouldn't that be nice? Bears definitely won that trade there, or that candle, making that breakout be kind of inert from 5.6 to 5.3. Now 4.7 on the TTM yellow on the 1 minute side. Our entry definitely could have been lower, but it does look like it's going to play out. Join the bid here in the 100K eval.
Order filled.
71. I'm looking for a move up to 72. Taking my profit there.
Order filled.
We got 2 ticks on that. Puts us up 41.28 in the eval. Looks like it did hit 72. Could have just held my trade. We are popping up to 72.50. Cut it in the sim for $50 profit. Does look like we're going to continue to push up. Could have just held it on the sim and the eval side. Look at that rip. Very nice rip to the upside. Buyers definitely taking some control here. Bringing it back up to 38.75. Just going to jump in and check in with y'all. All right, so we're back. Pushing all the way up to 76.50. Man, I wish I held that. Ripping up to the EMA 35. Took my profit too early, and really took it based off the lack of confidence on the day in its entirety, just because of the consistent downward moves. But man, what a rip. Look at that. From 70 all the way up to 78. That is, what, 32 ticks. That's a lot of ticks. That sickness is still getting us, but we're going to get over it soon. I can feel it. It's kind of on its last legs. Likely we're going to get a push back down. There it is, off the EMA 35. Very nice rip, though. Very strong. That's hopeful. I haven't really checked what the volume is like today. We are getting pretty high volume. In fact, you can actually see here on the Bulls Bears, our volume's kind of above average on the day. I would say definitely above average. We're getting close to like 5,000, 7,000 contracts traded per minute, which likely is going to add a lot of volatility to these moves. So we're going to need to be also extra cautious in that regard as well. Hitting a doji at the top. Now, you guys know that a doji at the top typically results in a downward move. However, since we're up here at the top and we're kind of testing this EMA 35, when I say the top, by the way, I'm talking about just the top of this move. We are testing that EMA 35 pretty heavily. We do have this possible crossover, 9s over the 12, and we're also looking for a cyan switch on the 1 minute side. So there is probability that this could continue to pop up. We also did just get our first yellow candle on the TTM3, moving from 22, negative 22 on the red to negative 21 on the yellow. That's looking really nice for continued move. You can see that we've got resistance right here. Right there off of 77. Hitting resistance. Now pulling back on TTM3. That candle ended at 21.18 and we're moving into 20.0 on the TTM3. Jumping to the 5. The 5 has yet to put in a yellow candle. Our last candle was at 7:45, which is current, and that went from, let's see, 12.4 to 13.5 to 14.7. So still downward pressure on the TTM5, but because we're getting the trend reversal on the 3, it does seem a little bit like we'll have some likelihood of an upward push. We double doji to the top there, the top of this move. 9's above 12, running into resistance at the EMA 35, and getting a cyan switch. 9 is above 12, potentially getting a 1226 crossover as well. Getting some pullback now, looking for a move, probably off of 75. Let's see if I can get an entry here at 75, which we did. We're down slightly in the trade, but I do think it's just going to come right back and hit close to 77. Unless it just false breaks us, which it very much has the potential to do. 0.4 to 1.2 on the TTM cyan. Yeah, heavy pullback. Ended up being a false breakout. Pulling back to 72. Our entry's at 75. Sorry, entry's at 74.75. So pretty close to 75. Actually a better entry. See if the 9, if the 12 rejects the 26, then we got to get out. But we'll find out here in a minute. 1.0 to 1.8 on the TTM. We really won't know for about 1 minute because the 9's above the 26, but the 12 is below the 26. This could be a very nice rip up or a very fat rip down where it's at right now. Pushing back up to 75. That did push up to 76, but our exit target was 77. It is popping up now. 1.0 to 2.3. Very nice. We did get that trade. Up $500 in the sim. Coming up, test the EMA 35. Looks like we're just going to break right on through it, potentially, right after we get this pullback here. I'm very tempted to take this trade in the evaluation side. You can see that resistance continuing at 77, right along the EMA 35. It's one of the reasons why it's so useful. We did end up getting that 1276 crossover. We're getting some pullback now in the buyer side, off that 35. I answered in the sim, but I answered way too high. I honestly tried to enter when it was pulling back, but at the time that I hit the actual bid button, it had pushed up to a doji at the top there at 77. So we ended up entering literally on the resistance point instead of lower. This is one of the reasons why I probably should be focusing on using limit orders and hitting price targets as opposed to joining the bid on potential momentum. So we're in 4 contracts at 77, and right now we've pulled back to 73. Gotta exit this. Pretty fat loss on that. Now, so going from up 500 to down 600 on the day in the sim side, not the evaluation, gratefully. Now popping a doji back up. I cut this basically because I could see the cooling candle forming on the TTM, and it's definitely all good. Just because I think that we're gonna have some more opportunities here in the very near term. Moving from 21.1 to 19.9 to 18.7 on the TTM3, and we should be getting a new 5-minute candle right now. So let's check in with the 5. 5 is continuing to push red. 13.5 to 15.7 is actually lower than we were originally looked at it. Now pushing down to 17.5, but working its way up slightly. The 5-minute candle, the 5-minute chart is very telling. While we see reversals on the 1 and the 3, the 5-minute has yet to comply with the trend reversal information. Sorry, I'm switching windows, trying to jump back and forth between eval and sim. There we go. So now we may be forming ascending support right here at 71. We'll have to see if this pops off this, but we can see a little bit of ascension through this zone. Also kind of chopping out there in the 70s. The EMA 35 acted as very strong resistance. You can see it resisted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times out of 7 candles, and resisted pretty heavily. There's a lot of pushback from that EMA 35. It's one of the reasons why I love that indicator, is just because it makes a really like solid moving point of support and resistance. When we're in that bullish territory, it acts as support. When we're in bearish, it acts as resistance. And it's just kind of nice to just have it drawn in for you, and to track it, like to have that moving average do sort of like a constantly updating support and resistance zone. It's just another way to automate technical analysis. Nine dipping below 12 with the 26 below the both of it, but with the 9 below the 12, it doesn't look as favorable, which is what you're seeing here on the chart, where we're seeing push-ups to the 12 EMA and then rejections off of it. This may eventually result in more continued downward pressure, which is being evidenced by this candle that's before us right now. but with the 9 still above the 12 and in a little bit of divergence there between the 12 and the 26, we still may get a continued push up. Likely, if we get a continued push up, it'll be a big surge of buys all at once, which would result in like a big upward momentum move. Now, it's very dependent off of that 12 remaining above that 26. And you can see there's some push up there now, and this was based solely off this divergence. Now 9 needs to get back above the 12, and once that 9 does get back above the 12, it'll likely confirm this move, and buyers will want to jump into this. You can see this ABCD pattern sort of forming down here at the bottom. We'll see if it comes up and runs into resistance yet again at the EMA 35. Entering in here at 74.75 is our original entry point on that trade that we lost pretty heavy on. Oh no, sorry, that was our trade that we lost at 77 was our entry, which was right at the EMA 35. So this entry is at 74.75 on the sim side. I'm trying to get out of 75.75, but I'm actually going to drop this down to 75.50, take a little bit less profit on it, but have it be below the EMA 35, so that in case that ends up acting as resistance yet again, then we'll have the potential to get out at least like one tick before it hits that super strong resistance. There's that trade. Did pop up. Now it's popping up through the EMA 35. So this is the power that I was talking about happening with this move. Big pullback yet again. Considering joining this on this pullback here, I'm going to join the bid on the sim side. Entered a 76, and I'm looking for a move up to 77. 9 is now getting above 12.
Order filled.
75.50 in the evaluation. I'm looking for a move up to 76.50. This is in the 100K account. Big pullback on that. May need to cut this trade soon. Hopefully not. Hopefully we just rip right back up. Pretty shocked that sellers came in that heavy on that, to be honest. Hitting resistance at 75, that's not good. Especially since our entry is 75.50. But we are pushing more to the upside. A lot of volatility in this. Still holding this trade in the evaluation. Pretty down in it, but also we're getting a push up. So much volatility in this. Wow. We entered right at the EMA 35. And the EMA 35 is getting closer to the 9 and the 12, which is a good thing. For upward pressure. Coming back to break even in this trade. Now pushing up towards really close to our sell order. We're one tick below it. There we go. We did get that trade. What a stressful trade that was. But now up 132.56 on the day in the evaluation side. Very stressful trade. We actually almost ended up hitting our no, we didn't almost hit our drawdown because we're already up a couple $100. But we did almost go red in our account on that trade there. We got the trade in both the eval and the sim side. Down 250 in the sim, up 132.56 in the evaluation. and we're getting a little bit of pullback here off the 35. I'm so shocked that that did not end with a cyan candle with that kind of push and that kind of momentum, and we still ended up with cooling candles on the TTM. That's pretty shocking, to be honest. What's up, Origin Code? Pleasure to have you here. Always a pleasure, my friend. By the way, guys, if you guys want some interesting music, you should check out Origin Code. He's got his own YouTube channel where he puts out like music that sort of unlocks your mind in some interesting ways. So it's worth checking out. Getting some bounces up the 9 EMA. Still hitting resistance there, that EMA 35. I'm going to go ahead and check this on the 3-minute chart now, because we did get a lot of push up off of that. But this resistance here at 75 and the EMA 35 is pretty heavy. So on that big pullback, we went from 18.7 to 16.8 to 14.7 to 11.9 on the current candle, which we're about to get a brand new 3-minute and 5-minute candle here at 8 o'clock. You see a possible crossover coming in on the 3-minute side. 11.8 to 9.1 on the TTM3. This is looking pretty solid for a potential move up. That move likely may run into resistance here at the EMA 35 on the 3, which is right at 82. 38.82. So where are we at now? We're at 76. I'm going to go for a 12 tick off of 75.50 if I can get it. Entered at 75.50 in the sim side. Looking for 12 ticks. I'm looking for a move up to 78.50. I think that there's a lot of potential to be able to grab that. We'll have to wait and see. We're running now into resistance to the EMA 50 on the 1-minute side. Big pullback there down to the EMA 35 and then some. Pulling back down to 75. 75.50 now, which is our entry point on the sim side. We got a really good entry on the sim. We can see continued cooling on the TTM 1-minute side, which is kind of shocking and a little weird, considering that we're continuing to push up in the in price. Okay, now we're getting some cyan candles, which is what we want to see. Pulling back now again to the EMA 35. What a volatile day, but it is quad witching day, so expect the witches to be out. 9 is above 12 still, and we're still in that 26 crossover. We're really going to need to see the 9 and 12 get above the EMA 35. Massive selling pressure coming in right now. Probably going to need to cut this trade in the sim. Pretty shocked that it rejected that heavily off of the 50 EMA. Especially because normally when we get rejection of the 50, we drop down to the 35, and that's usually about it. I'm going to cut this trade on the sim side. And that puts us down 800 on the day. So we had come up quite a bit, almost back to break even off that original being down 600. I bet this is gonna pop up here, um, right after I cut it. But it is what it is. You hit your risk level, you gotta bail. So popping up there, like I said, that it probably would, but not before dropping all the way down to 72. So, I'm not mad at myself for cutting it, because I did the right thing. I managed my risk the way I was supposed to. Yeah, of course, Origin Code. I just appreciate that you're like contributing, like, um, that you're, putting that stuff out there, creating content, like creating for people. I think that that is awesome because it's like, it's, I just think it shows courage to actually put out your content. I think it really does matter. And honestly, like I just kind of see the human race going that way. Like content, I think is kind of the future of humanity, and that may seem a little weird, but I also just kind of feel like we're going towards that. And so I think that we can develop consciousness through content, and I think that one thing that content allows humans to do that we've never been able to do before is be able to spread consciousness on a global scale. And humans have never been able to do that before. Like the best advisors went to the people at the top, and while that still is the case, it also, humans have a wealth of knowledge and experience scattered amongst them through all classes and through all people, all the way across the globe. And there, that amount of wisdom, I think, can be shared through content, and I just think it's something that is, it's almost underrated, and it's almost looked at as being like a nuisance, but at the same time, like it's just all perspective. It's how you look at it. I think content can spread consciousness, and that's what I think is so cool and so valuable about content. So thanks. Getting resistance heavy at 75. Trying to break through it, but you can see here the 12 and 26 are kissing, and there's definitely some indecisiveness here at the 75 zone. A lot of chop in this area. Kind of unpredictable price movement. And that EMA 35 has acted as super heavy resistance. For the time that we did break out through it, then the 50 acted as super heavy resistance, which is to be expected. But what I was hoping for after we had broken above that 35 was for the 9 and 12 moving averages to get above the 35, and then have chop out in between the 50 and the 35, and then eventually bounce and break through that, which looks like is happening now. Like I said, I think that we may have room up to 82. Entered in on this pullback here at my entry was not that great. I got in at 76, 75. We pulled back to 75, 25. But I am looking for that push up towards that 82 zone, which I think is our next area of resistance, which is evidence on the 3-minute chart with the EMA 35 there. But I'm going to take an updated view of the 3-minute chart here, and I can see that the 26 is crossing below the EMA 35, but the EMA 35 is up there at 81, and our exit point here is at 79.80 or 79.75. So I'm trying to get out basically before we hit the 82, because I don't actually know how that 26 converging into that 12 is going to affect price action at the time. When the 12 and 26 get closer and closer together, obviously it's pushing us towards a bullish move. But in the meantime, while we wait for that to happen, we could see some volatility. TTM3 moving from 9.8 to 7.7 to 5.6. So a little bit of move up on the TTM3. But for the TTM3 to really kind of play out, I need to see this 9 EMA get above the 12 EMA and begin to like work its way towards the upside. Down kind of heavy in this trade. We did have a doji at the bottom on the TTM3, and we're kind of dojiing here, but you can see it's actually pulling back. It ended with a red candle slightly, 6.1 to 4.8, 4.9 on the TTM3. Gonna have to cut this trade, likely. Pulling all the way back to 72. I sense some sort of like, some sort of weirdness in my energy. Almost like some erraticness, which can happen sometimes. On the 5-minute chart, we're kind of leveling off. You can see 19.3 to 19.5 on the TTM. So we could actually end with the TTM yellow on the 5-minute. I think I need to stretch out. Yeah, definitely need to get some stretching in and respirit a little bit. 19.6 to 19.3. I always love that about breathing and the respiratory system, because it's really like it's spelt in a way that makes me think of respirit, like respiratory system, and it's so aptly named because when we breathe, we almost like breathe in more spirit. It's pretty fascinating. It's like a way that we like regenerate our spirit as humans. I personally kind of find it fascinating. Gonna end up cutting this trade here. Definitely the worst loss of the day on that one. Gratefully, we're trading better in our valuation, which is really what matters. But I still want to, still want to prove I'm right in my sim side. So, by the way, if y'all chilling, y'all hanging out, make sure you like and subscribe and ring those bells for notification, because it really does help the community grow far more than you guys might think. We do have an awesome community growing inside of Discord. It's growing slowly but surely, and if you guys would like to join in that, it's free. But we do talk about everything from entrepreneurship to trading to futures, dividends, forex, you name it. We're talking about it. Philosophy, all that jazz. The one thing that I ask, if you show up to our Discord group, please show up with your good vibes and your positive self. If you are going through some stuff, then we certainly understand that, and we're certainly empathetic to that, and we'll help you in any way that we can. But make sure that you're a person who is interested in creating whatever those changes are that you're after in your life, and that you're willing to do, almost pretty much whatever it takes in order to make that a reality. So, so that's all I ask. You bring your good vibes to the group. Show up as your best self, and we will help you when it's challenging to be that. So that's the one thing I ask. Bring your good vibes so that other people can grow off of it as well. TTM5 going from 19.6 down to 20.2. Still continued pressure to the downside. We're actually coming down and testing the lows of the day. Almost had a double bottom there. You can see this hit 64.50 and this hit 65. So coming down, testing those lows. You can see on the 5-minute chart, we have pretty heavy resistance along the 9 EMA. Now, if we take a look at the 3-minute chart, we can see that there's sort of like this false breakout here, but you can actually see there was a time earlier. Where was it? Oh, I guess this was in the overnight session. Getting some pop up now, back up to 72. Nice big buying candle there. Moving from 6.1 to 5.9 to 4.7 on the TTM. Switching back over to the 1-minute side. And on the 1 minute, we're getting a red to yellow from 3.6 to 3.3, now to 2.7 on the TTM1. Bouncing off those lows, running up $10 off those lows. That was a big fat run. And we rocketed past the 35 and the 50, getting a possible crossover in the 26. Like I said, I thought we had movement availability up to 80. We bounced from 65 all the way up to 80. That is a massive, massive move. Probably going to get some pullbacks now to maybe the 50, which is right around 75. But it looks like it's just going to run. Entered here at the high, which I hate, but what am I going to do when it's running that fast? Entered at 79 and a quarter, which was our original intention for that last trade, the one it ended up costing a lot. Come on, trade of 8. Jumping over to the evaluation, just taking a look here. A little sketched out to trade this because we're really close to that cyan switch. Taking that profit in the sim side. May actually be getting a real trend reversal on the day. Watch out for resistance up here at the 200 simple, which is right at 85. It's a little above it. It's closer to 86, but I'm going to say that resistance there at 85. I'm going to go with that as being the resistance point. Took a trade off of 77 and a quarter. I'm looking for a move back up to 80. I'm actually going to put this, let's see, what did we tap? We tapped 81.50. Yeah, I'm going to leave it where it's at 80 and a quarter for my exit target. You can see sellers taking some profit off of that massive rip there. Volume went from 76.80 to 64.59. Likely a couple of people may have stayed in that trade, but maybe not. It moved up substantially off that last 3 minutes, and the pullback was pretty minor. Pullback went from 81 down to 76. It's actually a lot. It's $5, but given that we went from 65 up to 81, that's almost $20. So that's pretty large move. So high likelihood that we're going to potentially continue up towards at least this 200 simple. Making a cyan switch now 1.7 to 1.0 to 0.3 to switching over to 0.3 on the positive side and the cyan switch. Jumping to the evaluation and looking for an opportunity here. Up 422 out of 2000 on the evaluation side, just for the 100K account. We're at 422.68 divided by the 2000. So we're currently up 21% in our account, 21% of the way of where we need to go. We have a maximum of 2 contracts in this. This is a static evaluation. So this one has a maximum of 2 contracts available to it. 1, 2, 3-minute pullback. High likelihood of a pop here off this 50 EMA with that cyan building. 0.19 to 0.8. Nice little pop there. That's the pop I was talking about. Interested to take a move off of 77 here in the evaluation side. I'm a little sketchy just because it's kind of hanging there at 77. I think it's gonna pop, but I may end up missing the move just because I'm like not entering. And I'm not entering just because it's hitting that resistance a little stronger than I thought it would. So it did pull back to 76.25, and now we're getting sort of a Mario candle here right above the 50 EMA. Still sketched out about taking it. 0.6 to 1.3 on the TTM on the 1 minute side. There it is up at 77 again. And yeah, price action is a little too unpredictable for me right now. This honestly looks like it's just going to make a U-shaped pattern and rip up. And I may end up missing that, but okay, it's looking a little more solid to me now. I entered in at 77 on that little like slight pullback there. We have 12 seconds left in this candle. I'm looking for a move at 78. We're in two contracts on the evaluation. And we're looking for a 4 tick move to the upside. 77 acting as like just a little stronger uh resistance that I want to see it act as. Just looking for that move up to 78. Tapped our sell order, didn't sell. That's frustrating. Gonna see if I can get out of 77.50 now. It literally tapped our sell order and didn't fill. That's very frustrating. Just looking to get out now at 2 ticks. I may need to end up cut this. Oh, that's so whack. I hate when it does that. When it taps a sell order like that but doesn't fill. Come on, buyers. Pile in. Because now we're down the exact amount that we were trying to achieve. May end up having to cut this. That's so frustrating. It literally hit our exact sell order. It's struggling here, but we are getting more buyers than sellers. That's a good thing. Tapped our break even point. We never hold trades this long, and my anxiety starts to kick in when I'm holding trades this long. Hands over the cover button. It's been holding 75 well enough for me to stay in this, but I am ready to cut this quick. We're already down past our risk level. I got to cut it. Come on. Right when I was about to do that, it started to come back up. So staying in it for the moment. But we've been in this trade now for 1, 2, 3 candles in a row. That is very, very long time for me. Pulling back up to close to break even, but not at it. There's that resistance at 77 coming in yet again. And we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're on the ninth candle for this breakout that is struggling. Gave up almost all of our gains in the account at the moment on this trade. Gotta cut it, unfortunately. That puts us not only red on the day, but red in the overall account. Honestly, I took way too much risk for the reward ratio. Um, and yeah, pretty frustrated with that trade. Especially because it literally came up, tapped our sell order and didn't fill. That puts us red on the day across the board. Very, very frustrating right there. Unfortunately. Oh, look at that. I wasn't even sharing my screen. My apologies, everybody. Um, Especially because that was kind of a longer trade. I'm glad we cut it because it prevented us from failing an evaluation, but at the same time, that is incredibly frustrating when it comes up, hits your order, and doesn't actually sell. And not only that, it hit our order, and when we went to go exit, it had ripped down slightly into the red territory, so I held onto it. Like it was like order, non-order. So we pulled all the way back down to 69. We're popping back up to 71. Taking a look at the 3-minute chart now and seeing how things are shaping up here. So I think our next move that we got to wait for is this 1226 crossover on the 3-minute chart. You can see that we ended up hitting resistance there at the EMA 35 on the 3-minute chart. This was right here at 80-ish, and I think this was our trade zone here. Let's see. It was at 819 was that trade. So that'd be on this candle here that ended up going red. Pulled back pretty heavy there. We got to wait for that 1226 crossover to happen on the 3-minute chart in order to really be interested in taking a further trade. Quad witching day is going weirdly. Because we're up, then we're down, then we're up, then we're down. And I don't love that. We'll scalp our way back into profit on the evaluation side, especially because we have a static drawdown on that one. So it's just going to be about taking little moves. I may want to switch over to shorting in that account, but now we're so close to a trend reversal that it's like, you know, what do you want to do? 0.8 to 1.4 to 1.5 on the cyan side of TTM3. Just waiting now because we're very close to a crossover, but we're not there yet. And we've been pulling back now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 minutes. We've been pulling back. Pull back $10 off of 80. Looks like it's finding support there at long 70, but not interested in taking anything until we get more confirmation, especially because we've been riding this the entire time, and while the convergence has been happening of the 2612, the 9 has consistently been below the 12. By the way, if y'all chilling and hanging out, please like and subscribe. And and ring that bell for notifications. We do this every day, Monday through Friday, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 market time. Although we will be taking a winter vacation, or winter break, I should say, here starting Monday, and we'll be back in the new year. So today is our final day streaming for this year, for 2022. Be back in 2023, January 2nd, I believe. Yep, Jan 2nd. Hopefully during that time, I will get over the sickness, handle everything that I meant to handle over Thanksgiving break, which didn't get done because I got super sick, and I've been sick since. But yeah, that's the intention. Coming up on 8:30 here, just about 45 seconds out. We'll see what 8:30 brings. Where's my 12 tick? There it is. I'm going to switch to the 1 minute chart because I'm going to be looking for a red yellow move. And I'm going to be looking for 12 ticks on that red yellow move. $1.2 to 1.9. We can see some stacking off of that, off this low here where it hit support there at like 79. Joined the bid there, 72 3/4, and I'm looking for a nice big rip up. We are running into resistance likely at the EMA 35, which is fine. We're here at 8:30. We're getting a push up to 74. We're up in this trade. We're hitting that 50 EMA, but we're just popping right on past this stuff. I was really waiting for red to yellow, and I don't know if we're actually going to get that red to yellow. 1.2 to 1.3 now on TTM to 1.5, 1.6 or so. So we did just get a 12 tick trade in the sim side. I wish I would have taken it in the evaluation, but you know, that's a lie. Gonna jump over to the TTM3 and take a look at where we are in regards to that crossover. Is it ever going to happen? Who knows? Inquiring minds want to know. 9 is still below 12. We're running into potential conversions there. We are getting a cyan switch on the GTM3. May look at taking an entry off of 75 for a move up to 78 and jumping here to the evaluation side. Also looking at entering at 75. Missed that entry, so didn't actually fill. So now I'm going to reduce this. Okay, so we're getting a pullback there. Oh, come on. I don't want that. It was a nice move from that red to yellow, but it didn't hold. Not yet, anyway. So guys, with that, I'm probably going to go ahead and shut her down for the day. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for showing up. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the new year. Hope you guys have an amazing holiday. and stay safe out there. And we'll see you in the Discord group, Optimus. All right. Peace out.